Hello and welcome. You're watching the NewsX India A-List. I'm Rishabh Gulati, and this is our consistent endeavor. We've been doing this week on week to bring you the stories of some of India's finest and brightest. Today, we put together another unmissable lineup of India's who's who. Our first guest for the day is prolific former cricketer Unmukt Chand. You know him for his under-19 performances. After announcing his retirement from domestic cricket in India and international cricket representing India, this is his first TV interview. After that, we're bringing you a whole host of individuals, including the next guest, who is Mr. Dr. Mohapatra. He is a senior consultant at Apollo Hospitals in Bhubaneswar. He's the founder of the Odisha Center for Life, LIFE. Dr. GSS Mohapatra is been working with an aim to build a one-stop center to aid women who suffer. He's also operated on over 15,000 patients. After that, after we have a conversation with Dr. Mohapatra, we have the prolific film producer, Anand Pandit. Now, he's not only produced iconic films under the banner Anand Pandit Motion Pictures, he's also developed state-of-the-art residences for the who's who of Bollywood. Listen in to all these fascinating conversations with my colleague.
Leading India's under-19 World Cup winning team in 2012.
I always knew in my heart that this is what I want to do. It was not something which which was built upon over a period of time. It was something which was very natural.
This is his first TV interview post-retirement.
To be very honest, it's been a tough one, but I had to take this call because in the last 2-3 years I was not getting enough competitive cricket in India.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Unmukt Chand for excellence in cricket.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're in conversation today with a very well-known face in Indian cricket, who of course has taken now a big step in his professional career by announcing his retirement from domestic and international cricket for India. We're talking about Unmukt Chand. He's joining us on the broadcast. Welcome, Unmukt, to NewsX. Firstly, thank you for being with us.
Hey, hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Good to have you. And of course, good to speak with you so soon after you've announced this big step, which is, of course, I think shocked, surprised a lot of people as well. So let's get started by just talking about what made you take this step and how the response really has been after you put out that statement announcing your retirement.
Well, obviously, it's been a tough one, to be very honest. Someone who has, dreamt of playing for the country. I mean, since, I held the bat for the first time in my hands. So it's obviously not an easy one. Mm-hmm. I've always played cricket with this, waking up every day with this dream of playing for the country, right? That's what something which moves you. I mean, you do well, you don't do well, but, that's like thing to play for the country is so deep inside you, which always moves you. So to be very honest, it's been a tough one, but I had to take this call because in the last 2-3 years I was not getting enough competitive cricket in India. Mm-hmm. I was not playing regularly and was getting I've had issues with my state associations as well, and I think for a cricketer this is my prime time, and I can't be missing out on games, and obviously the lack of opportunities made me think of this step to be the first place. And then obviously when I came here like a few months back and then saw how things are, then took a decision after a long wait, after doing all the recce stuff, and then finally came to this decision that I'm gonna stick here and stay in the US and see how things go here for me in the US. So yeah, looking forward to it. I mean, after announcing it was, I got bombarded with the phone calls and messages, to be very honest. And obviously, it's because no one knew about this, and it came as a surprise to so many people. But I think in a way it's about, as a cricketer, you want to maximize the opportunities to play cricket. That's the most important thing for any cricketer, and that is the whole reason behind coming here, because I want to play some good cricket. As a cricketer, you only have like 10, 12 more years where you want to maximize the opportunities to play good cricket, competitive cricket, and this is one of the major reasons that taking the steps all first of all makes me eligible to play in the leagues around the world, as well as the major league is starting in the US next year onwards, and also get eligible for the national team.
No, of course, and we're going to get to your career ahead, because of course you've not announced your complete retirement from cricket, of course. But did you imagine this that it would happen so early? You're very young still. Cricketers don't retire so young, especially the likes of you, who has done very well, who's of course been an under-19 captain in the past as well, a World Cup winning under-19 captain, let me add. Did you imagine at that time that it would happen this early? Or is this something that, of course, was out of your control?
I mean, a few days back, I was joking with someone that things have happened so early for me. I mean, the Ranji Trophy happened at the age of 16. IPL happened at the age of 17. 18, sorry, I'm beginning of 18. And then the World Cup happened. I wrote a book at 19. And, led India at 20. So, I mean, things have happened so quickly for me as well that I've sort of taken retirement from Indian cricket at 28. But, it's only a change of, it's looks like a retirement, but, I'm not retiring from cricket. And cricket is something which I can, I'll play it till the time my body allows me to play it. And I'm just 28, man. I mean, I've got 10, 12 full years of cricket, left in me. So definitely, I mean, it's a sort of I won't be able to represent the country. That's the thing. But at the end of the day, you realize that it's all about playing cricket. Nowadays, obviously, you see that the cricket is also shifting towards the league, and I think it's all about playing good cricket here. I mean, when I started playing cricket, obviously, I loved playing cricket. There was nothing as such that playing for the country and all those things as a youngster, and when you take such decisions, that's when you realize that it's still the love of the game which actually moves you. I mean, you do well in a club game or for your country or for your state. I mean, you feel good, and if you don't do well for your country, club, or even in the colony, I mean, you feel shit when you go back home, right? So I think it's all about growing as a player and playing some good cricket. So that's
before we get to your highs, because there've been a lot of highs for you as well, as you were just recounting. In terms of the lows, which do you believe was the toughest moment for you in your professional career? A couple of tough moments for you, a couple of lows for you where you didn't feel good.
I mean, the biggest low was in 2017 when I got dropped from the Delhi one-day side. I was leading India that year, and Delhi dropped me from the one-day side, and in a week before that, I didn't get selected in the IPL. I mean, I had sort of got taken release from Mumbai Indians. I wanted to play some games where I wanted to go to a franchise where I had to get to play games. And I went enrolled in that auction. So probably in a week's time, I didn't have a Ranji Trophy team. I didn't have a IPL team. So that was probably, the biggest setback I could have ever. I could never imagine that this could have also happened.
Yeah. Okay. And then of course there was that switch to Uttarakhand, and then you came back to Delhi. So those, of course, I'm sure have also been some tough moments. But let's talk about the highs as well, because there have been a lot of happy moments in your career. Which has been your your best knock for you? Let's begin by your best innings. Which match do you believe that came in?
I think my 151 not out against Railways, my first Ranji Trophy year, was probably the best knock I can think of from a very different point of view, because it was a very difficult condition where we played, and I came as an opener. I got out of the last. And it was a special knock. It was a special knock. It was my fifth Ranji Trophy game.
Okay.
So that was like really special.
If we talk about an overall match, which has been your most memorable match so far?
Well, so many, man. So many. I mean, I've been lucky to be a part of some very good games. I mean, for my Ranji, for my state team, Delhi, and also winning a couple of games for India A's and obviously under 19 as well. Played a couple of tournaments before the World Cup, winning those games, winning playing some crucial knocks in the finals of various tournaments. So I mean, there have been a couple here. I mean, it's pretty difficult to point out one or two such games, but some pretty.
Your most memorable moment, winning an award or a cup, which is that?
Well, I mean, award or a cup, I was never that fascinated with that. Obviously, it's good to receive awards, but I mean, that was not something which really like moves me or which sort of gives me that sort of a high. Probably an inning would be there, but I mean, winning a award or a medal or cup is something which is just okay. I mean, it's a result, so it's somewhere I put my mind into.
It's never mattered so much for you. Okay, fair enough. One last question before we look ahead now. Do you remember that moment or the age when you decided that this is what you want to do? You want to be a professional cricketer. Do you remember that moment, that age, and what caused it?
Well, I've been very lucky, and by the grace of God, I think it's something which I think cricket chose me in a way, because I say this because from the very beginning I loved playing cricket, and at that young age, when you're 5-6 years old, I mean the desire to get up early in the morning, take your parents, my father and my uncle, to the nearby park at 5-6 in the morning and ask them to bowl to me, and then going to school, going to an academy in the evening. So I think, when you don't know anything about motivation, inspiration, it's all the passion which comes out. So I think it was handed down to me in a way that the passion for the game was always there. And I always knew in my heart that this is what I want to do. It was not something which which was built upon over a period of time. It was something which was very natural.
Okay. Finally, now looking ahead, Unmukh, because there's a lot more cricket, as you said, that's still left to be played for you. How's it going in the United States? You're doing very well. You just got a 50 there. So congrats on your first 50 on US soil. How's it going over there? What are your plans immediately?
It's good, man. It's good. I mean, I was surprised when I first went to the US. I didn't expect this amount of cricket happening in the US, to be very honest. But it's surprising that the cricket here is good. And you see a lot of... it's sort of cosmo environment, because you see a lot of players from the West Indies, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, everyone coming here, and lots of Indians. I don't feel that I'm away from my people, because I mean US is full of India, man. I mean I'm not missing home at all, because it's so many Indians around. So it's like you're just playing for the same people, for Indians only staying in the US, right? So it's good. It's coming on well. We're just going through a minor league tournament happening right now, which is going very well for my team as well, and really enjoying the cricket here. And I'm sure it's growing day by day, and I mean lots to look forward here in the US.
Okay, great. Well, you're in good form. So let's hope that continues, and you play a lot more amazing cricket over there. Let's hope we get to see it live as well one day. Come to the US and watch you play over there. But final question to you. As you said, you're literally your phone call, your phone has been inundated with messages, calls over the last few days. I'm sure some people are criticizing you, some people are praising you, some people are expressing shock, as you said. But what's been one message that's really touched your heart? It could have come from a fan, a former colleague, or your family. What's one message that's touched your heart, and what did they say?
Well, there have been many messages, but yeah, I mean, a couple of messages I got from a few fans of mine. I mean, they are so sweet. I can't tell you. I mean, it's so sweet. Long messages, of people who have been following me since the World Cup journey. And I mean, see, again, it's a game of words, man.
Right.
And, sometimes they touch your heart so much, and you feel so special when you feel that you've made that some sort of a difference in someone's life, or probably the spark which might arise in someone else because of something which you would have done in your life, is something which is very special. And really glad that I could give some moments like these to people in India, and looking forward to giving to be able to contribute more towards cricket, and giving some more such memorable moments.
Okay. Well, thanks once again, Unmukh Chand, for joining us today on NewsX, and wishing you all the very best for the days ahead. And as I said, once again, congratulations for taking this big step in your professional career.
With an aim to build a one-stop center for gynecological health,
I always believe that women's health matters most. When you check the health of a woman, you check the health of the society.
He has been conferred with numerous honors.
Whatever I am today, it is because of the smiles, the blessings, the wishes of all the patients.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Dr. GSS Mohapatra for excellence in the field of gynecology.
Hello and a very warm welcome to NewsX A-List. I'm joined with Dr. GSS Mohapatra. He is Senior Consultant at Apollo Hospital, Bhubaneswar. He's also the founder of Orissa Center for Life. A very warm welcome to NewsX, sir.
Thank you.
So very importantly, I would want to ask you, I would not say few, but not at a large number do you find gynecologists being men. You're not just one, but an expert in that. You're a gynec laparoscopic surgeon and an infertility specialist also. Can you tell us a bit about your journey and why did you choose this?
First, talking of why I chose to be a gynecologist is that I always believed that women's health matters most. When you check the health of a woman, you check the health of the society. And I have been raised by a very strong woman. I have married a strong woman. And I always felt that whenever you can take care of a woman's needs, right from her sexual health, her reproductive health, help her through her childbearing years, and then finally go on to help her to treat her cancers like cancers of the uterus and ovaries, then what better than that? So that is why I chose to become a gynecologist, and I felt it is a matter of great honor. But when I was doing my PG, post-graduation in MD and ONG, during those days, what happened was that the schedule became more or less very monotonous, doing those cesarean sections and gynecological surgeries. And at that point of time, the concept of laparoscopy was just creeping in. And that idea of doing keyhole surgeries and removing huge tumors through very minute 5 mm and 1 centimeter holes fascinated me. And that is why I developed the idea and the fascination to get trained myself under stalwarts in India, and then went to Italy, France and Germany, made the stalwarts of endometriosis, and then finally return and pass on the same to other colleagues and juniors as well. And so that is why today I stand here after having done maybe more than 15,000 successful laparoscopic surgeries. And now then, talking of infertility,
yes,
infertility specialist is again another thing which I find myself blessed to be, because when you see a couple, a childless couple running from pillar to post, from one fertility clinic to the other in search of a miracle, and they don't find one, and then it puts a lot of mental, social and psychological stress. And when you are able to give them a positive result, then the smiles on their face is unimaginable, unfathomable. So I feel blessed. I feel more happy when a childless couple conceives rather than they themselves. So that is how I call myself as a laparoscopic surgeon by choice and an obstetrician by compulsion.
That is so great. It is so good to hear that, our lives are in hands of doctors like yourself, who take pride in what they do, and they do it not just for themselves, but for the society.
Yeah.
So you must have had a very interesting journey, a number of milestones that you've achieved, but it's never easy to achieve milestones. Can you tell us about the hardships and some situations that you would have come across and you would have, obviously felt a little down, but what helped you come out of it and, achieve what you've achieved?
Coming from a very, very remote place in Orissa and then going on to become a successful gynecologist was not at all easy, because I remember when I was a kid and was preparing for myself, my entrance examinations, I used to get fascinated by reading a magazine called Junior Science Refresher, and even getting a copy of that magazine at my place was a very, very difficult and daunting task. I used to walk 3 kilometers a day just to get a glimpse of the magazine, and then get inspired by the interview of one topper of any one entrance examination who had topped one entrance. And I used to ask my dad to purchase those books just because, for the sake that topper had topped by reading those books. And that is how I inspired myself. I didn't know the ABC of the book, but I had to purchase it just to do well. And that is how I inspired myself, and then went on to become a gynecologist. But I always believe that in spite of doing so much of hardships, going on to do so many laparoscopic surgeries today, I feel blessed that it was a difficult task, but an enjoyable one, a memorable one, because whatever I am today, it is because of the smiles, the blessings, the wishes of all the patients who have been with me. And I am here today all because of my patients.
As you talk about your patients with so much happiness, tell us so many surgeries that you have done. There must be a lot of cases that it always happens. Like for us, there is some story which is always close to our heart. There must be some case which might be close to your heart that you would like to share with us.
Yeah, it was in maybe 2010 December, and I was an assistant professor then at a medical college. And suddenly the chairman called me up and said that, look, doc, and we have a patient here who has a 15 kg ovarian tumor, and she has been running from place to place, seemingly inoperable, and people are refusing her surgery. And she's very, 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 very poor. She even can't afford the cost of the surgery. So we have agreed to operate on her, provided you do it. And then I took up the challenge, and the surgery took a few long hours. And finally, the 15 kg ovarian tumor was removed successfully.
Oh, wow.
Now, what happened later on was that after 3 or 4 days, whenever we do a major surgery, we do not allow oral liquids and diets very soon. And the first few days, patient is on IV fluids. And after 3 or 4 days, when I went to her and just kept my hands on her shoulder and look, from today, we are going to start you on diet. And she looked me at him with a blank stare and said, sir, I don't have food for my diet. I don't have money for my diet. And I said, you don't have money? She said, no. So I said, my team, not an issue. I immediately took out a 100 rupee note, gave it to her and told that you please have tiffin and we will arrange all sample medications for you. And from that day, for 10 long days, she stayed further in the bed, and we took proper care of her. And when she went back, we ensured that she goes back after having visited Lord Jagannath at Puri. And because I knew that she is not going to come back to me for a revisit, because she could not afford that, because she was staying hundreds of kilometers away. I just gave her my mobile number and said that, Bhaidai, look, in case you can afford to just give me a call someday, it will be very nice of you. And that is how I just wished her goodbye, and she went away. And I didn't even expect that she will ever come back for a post-op checkup. And one fine day, maybe after 2-3 months, I was sitting in the labor room and I was doing some writing an OT note. And suddenly one call, a landline number came on my mobile. And I thought that probably it is a call from some advertising agency or something. And I just wanted to stop it. And I just said, and somebody was very speaking to me in a very soft voice and telling, Babu, I am Baidehi and I am fine. And that gave me goosebumps even that day. That gives
me goosebumps. I'm sure must have given.
Yeah, and that gives me goosebumps even today. And I think it is her blessings probably that took on and wherever I am today, I feel that has a big role to play.
Absolutely. Such good doings always have a very large role in our lives. But something that I would want to ask you, a common women health problem, which one do you consider, as a doctor, which PCOD, PCOS, one of these are they becoming recurring more often now, or are people becoming more aware about it?
The diseases which normally today are the challenging issues for me as a gynecologist today would be 3. 1, infertility. 2, polycystic ovarian disease. And 3, endometriosis. Infertility, for example, affects around 10 to 15% of the couples in India. In urban areas, around every 1 in 6 couples suffers from infertility. And as I was telling you, they suffer from a lot of psychological, financial, emotional stress as well. And polycystic ovarian disease is a lifestyle disease. And today, every 1 in 5 young females suffers from that disease. And it is an enigma till today. But the way I treat polycystic ovarian disease, I believe I am very happy with my way of treatment, because I do not prescribe contraceptive pills to my patients. I advise them a lot of weight reduction, a lot of exercise, lifestyle modification, a lot of counseling goes in, and advise them to have vitamins in the form of ionositols. And that is how they are encouraged and how it helps them in ovulation, in their reproductive career. And a lot of counseling helps to tell them that, see, you are your best doctor and I'm not your best doctor. Provided you are motivated enough, you can bring great results to yourself. And the third important challenge which comes to me is endometriosis, the silent killer, which has affected maybe more than 170 million people, women worldwide. It gives you debilitating cramps and killer cramps and pain and infertility too. So I have taken endometriosis also as a big challenge in my life, and I treat it in a multidisciplinary way with my whole team, and I'm very happy with the results that we're getting.
That is great to hear. So we're completely out of time. But before I let you go, I really want to ask you one advice that you would like to give women, especially when they need to take care of themselves during their reproductive years.
As I was just telling, do not take too much on your plate, because a woman tries to take too much of your plate and then tries to balance, then it becomes a lot difficult. So your health matters a lot to the society, to you. So your health should be holistic. So it should be both mental, physical, psychological, social. So your well-being matters a lot. So take lots of fruits, vegetables, fiber diets, and eat on time, sleep on time, have a regular 8-hour sleep, take less stress, put your goals in such a way that you do not have to overwork. And so finally, I would just like to say, conclude by saying one line, that my center, Odisha Center for Life, life stands for laparoscopy, infertility, fibroids, and endometriosis. So it is a center for women, for them. My slogan is say no to no one, yes to everyone. Every woman, rich or poor, should be able to come forward without hesitation. And God bless me with the ability to help her in the best way possible.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for doing so much for the society.
Thank you so much.
Known for producing some iconic films,
it has got a lot of kind of English elements, and people will really connect with that.
he is also a formidable force in the real estate sector.
We decided that we're gonna release that on the bigger screen only.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Anand Pandit for excellence in entertainment and real estate.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're in conversation today with well-known film producer and real estate developer Anand Pandit. Anand Pandit ji, welcome to NewsX. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let me begin by just talking to you a bit about your upcoming a big Bollywood film, Chehre. Tell us about the concept of Chehre and what you believe is the USP of the story.
Chehre is a very, very, very unique story, and it's not a typical Bollywood thriller. It's a very nice psychological thriller, which is set in northern part of India, where there are 4 or 5 friends who are part of judiciary, who were part of judiciary. They get together every day and they try to solve some cases. So it's very interesting story, and you will feel that this has got like a Hollywood kind of fabric of the film. You might have seen the trailer. You can see that it's not a typical Bollywood story. It has got a lot of kind of English elements, and people will really connect with that.
Okay. And of course, it's got Mr. Bachchan in it. It's got Amitabh Bachchan, and of course, it's got Imran Hashmi. It's also got an ensemble cast. Riya Chakravarthi is also in it. But just talking about Amitabh Bachchan, how was it like working with the legendary actor? And this is a very different look for him also.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a dream come true always when you think about Bachchan Saab, and especially when he's your main star cast, and when he's also a co-producer along with me. So it was always a dream to work with Mr. Bachchan, and especially in the thriller. So this story, he liked it, and he curated some time back, almost 4 or 5 years back, and he wanted to make this film. It's very near to his heart, and when you will see that, you will come to know that why a person like Mr. Bachchan liked this kind of story.
Okay.
And it is always refreshing, to work with Mr. Bachchan, even at the age of 78. His thinking is of a teenager, and his enthusiasm is always, keep you on toes. He's a perfectionist. He gives motivation to everybody, not only to co-stars, but the complete unit also. So it was wonderful working with Bachchan sir.
And you were determined that you wanted to release this in, on the big screen. You wanted to release this in theaters. You waited till the second wave ended, and of course now the reopening happened. Why were you so determined that you wanted to show this on the big screen and not choose the OTT medium?
There are a few reasons. I mean, there are a couple of reasons. One is this film, particularly this genre. When you see Mr. Bachchan on a small laptop or mobile, you will not enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided that we're gonna release that on a bigger screen only. Also, the way we have shot that and the kind of budget we have used that grandness or the fabric of the film is completely different. So unless and until you watch that on a bigger screen, you will not really enjoy that. Also, theater experience is a completely different thing. You know, when you are with your friends and family and with the attention span, having the attention span, that has a different meaning. And also, on the other side, we wanted to help our cinema circuit. There are so many cinemas and all were struggling. This whole institute was struggling, and right now even struggling. Almost 1 million people are directly, indirectly connected with them. So we thought that why not to bring that to the theaters so that cinemas workers will come back, they will start getting their salaries again.
Great.
So that was also one of the cause that the cinema which has given us survival, mode of survival for 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
I think we should help them. So that was
very noble thought. Very noble thought. Just talking about Riya Chakravarthi now, do you believe there is a curiosity about Riya Chakravarthi as well? People want to see her now on the big screen. She's been talked about last year a lot. It's been a tough year for her. But do you believe that there will be a curiosity also to see Riya Chakravarthi on the big screen? And are you also prepared for trolling? Because that's also going to happen for sure.
Riya, as far as Riya is concerned, we were from very beginning very clear that we signed Riya much earlier than whatever controversy happened in her personal life. She acted very well. She completed her role. Everything she did fantastic, very professional. Unfortunately, in her private life, these issues happened. But we have nothing to do with her private life actually. And so that's why we thought that we'll give her a space to come out of it. And we never gave her a space on our first poster.
Yeah.
But as and when she was comfortable, we brought her into our trailers.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, we have like 8 good actors, and Riya is one of them.
Yeah.
And people would like to see her, after the controversy. But we are not here to cash on anything on Riya.
Fair enough. Just talking about now, your journey. What made you switch from being a real estate developer to also get into the film distribution and production line? What made that switch happen?
I have not switched it. It's my parallel business. So my main business is still real estate.
Yeah.
I love that business. And that's my passion.
Yes.
As far as entertainment is concerned, or film industry is concerned, we all know there are only 2 religions in India. One is cricket and one is film.
Yes.
So I always wanted to create a banner for myself and an entertainment company, especially in the space of films. So it's just part of that. And also, I have got advantage where I'm active in Juhu and Andheri as far as my real estate is concerned. So majority of all Bollywood or Tollywood, they are my clients. So we have got very cordial and good relationship. So that also helps me in building my projects.
Okay. Well, great. Anand Pandit, we hope that this parallel journey continues for you, and wishing you all the best for Chairé. Thank you so much for joining us on NewsX today.
Thank you so much for having me.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.